M.O.D.O.K, which stands for Mental Organism Designed for Killing, is the boss of AIM Advanced Idea Mechanics, a tech company that produces mechanizations for mass destruction in the city. 35 years ago, M.O.D.O.K cries to his mom about being bullied and laughed at by his mates for his invention. His mother consoles him and tells him that one day, he'll change the world. M.O.D.O.K takes his mother's words in good faith, but brings negative change to the world by causing havoc to his city with the sole aim of one day being the city's ruler. He is stopped by other superheroes like Iron Man, who gives him a super kick back to his company. This kick leaves Iron Man's boot with him, which M.O.D.O.K takes to his company and jubilates over. His colleague, Monica, is however not impressed with his latest mission. She blames their defeat on M.O.D.O.K's tweet, which alerted other superheroes, but he only tells her that she's envious of his acquisition. M.O.D.O.K goes home using a secret elevator from his company. His wife is a YouTuber. She tells him of her latest achievement on the success of M.O.D.O.K and her future collaboration with Grumble, a tech company, but M.O.D.O.K is uninterested in what she says and focuses more on his boot. It is obvious that the couple do not get along in raising the children, and M.O.D.O.K is a bad representation of a father to the children. Back at the company, AIM is going bankrupt. Monica blames it on M.O.D.O.K's mismanagement and tells him to step down so that she'll take over the running of the company. M.O.D.O.K strongly declines and calls a meeting to create other avenue of revenue. The meeting doesn't go well, and his colleagues leave the futile meeting. Austin Vander Skeet, a staff in Grumble, offers to fund AIM only if his company takes control of the company. M.O.D.O.K declines to the dismay of his colleagues, and they converge once again at his house to discuss other means of generating finance. Austin visits M.O.D.O.K and takes him out to party. He successfully manipulates M.O.D.O.K into turning his company over to him and changes the entire running of his company. M.O.D.O.K is not pleased with these changes and collaborates with some of his laid-off staff to get back his company by stopping Austin from signing the contract documents. Monica catches them in their ploy and attacks them with her dog. M.O.D.O.K successfully eliminates the dog and escapes from the company. Their plan to get the company is to get miniature M.O.D.O.K into Austin's mind with a gun. M.O.D.O.K accidentally enters his wife's body, who coincidentally was in Austin's office for her new job role. M.O.D.O.K controls his wife's body to stop Austin from signing the contract, but is unsuccessfully. At the end, M.O.D.O.K pleads with Austin to rehire the old staff by offering him his priced monitor. At a restaurant, where M.O.D.O.K and his wife eat to celebrate her new job, she tells M.O.D.O.K that she wants a divorce, but M.O.D.O.K's outrage. M.O.D.O.K is moving out of his house following the divorce. He is not pleased with the newest development and still wants to stay with his family, but his wife is adamant. At his office, he tries to hack into the S.H.I.E.L.D. company, a facility he says took away his time machine. He intends to use the time machine to travel back in time to salvage his marriage. While at it, Austin and Monica make a mockery of his present situation, and he is even more determined to kill Austin. He asks Austin questions, sabotaging questions, and Austin tells him that he is allergic to strawberries. He successfully hacks into the facility and travels to their station with his staff to retrieve his time machine. Back at home, he convinces his wife to travel back to time with him, 17 years ago, to attend a concert that she has misses before they got married. They first travel back to 13 years ago, 4 years after the concert. In that time, his older self in his office, torturing a guy named Tyler, sees him and accidentally travels back with him when he sets the timer of the machine to the concert year. At the concert, his wife has so much fun dancing, although she says she doesn't remember why they missed the concert. A man selling music tracks named Strawberries draws his attention, and he decides to kill younger Austin by poisoning him with strawberries. He is stopped by his wife, who expressed her disappointment in his actions. His younger self interrupts their conversation, telling him that he's disappointed in what he has turned into, and they fight. He sends his younger self back in time, but the time machine is destroyed. They go to their house to see if he is still alive, and discover the reason why they missed the concert. His wife tells him to invent a new time machine to take them back to their time, and he confesses that Monica was the one who created the machine. They go to find Monica, but she's a young girl in a science fair project who did not have the knowledge to create a time machine. M.O.D.O.K destroys her presentation, making her second place in the fair. She gets mad when the fair judge tells her to leave science for boys. M.O.D.O.K's wife, Jodie, is devastated by the turn of events, but M.O.D.O.K doesn't seem to understand. She separates from him in distress. 9 months into the time, M.O.D.O.K makes a new wife for himself, out of meatballs, because he misses Jodie's company. He goes to the old house of his younger self with the intention to rob the house, but is stopped by Jodie. They watch their younger self live and grow up to the day that they decide to first time travel. When the portal gets open, they run into it and break the time machine. Present-day Jodie and M.O.D.O.K cannot save their marriage. M.O.D.O.K is forced to leave the house and moves into a depleted apartment with his robot. He is, however, still determined to conquer the world. M.O.D.O.K, younger self, travels to the present time. He vows to take his revenge on present M.O.D.O.K for not living up to their expectation and legacy. M.O.D.O.K wakes up from his dream about his utopia. It's his weekend to spend with the children, but his house is a mess. The house is still a mess when the children arrive, and he tries to put them to work to clean his apartment. Melissa, his daughter, is not pleased with his apartment and wants to go with her mother, but her mum disagrees. Lou, his son, is indifferent and seems to be enjoying his stay. A hologram of Austin appears, inviting him to a leadership conference. He agrees to go after Austin, convinces him of being the guest of honor, and takes the kids with him. At the hotel lobby, he demands that he is respected and recognized by the receptionist, but Melissa tells him to tone his pride down. At their allocated room, Lou is excited to use the facilities and equipment in the room, and his activities forces Melissa to go with her father to the conference. At the conference, M.O.D.O.K aims to get back AIM, his company, but knows that in order to do that, he has to impress the board of directors of G Rumble. Austin humiliates him, making him lose his esteem. Melissa understands Austin's game, and she decides to help her father get back his company, only if he sticks to get rules and does what she says. He agrees, and they are successful in winning the executives to his side. At the hotel, Lou places extravagant orders on things he doesn't even need. At the party, M.O.D.O.K fails in his promise to Melissa. He begins to take decisions on his own, and in order to stay in charge and still be the center of attention, he creates a problem and fixes it himself. He opens a planetary portal to summon an alien named Brood, but the Seagramites, the dancing andropoids, appear instead. M.O.D.O.K gets into the portal to get a ball and discover why they didn't appear. He finds the alien at the peak of death, warning him that the Seagramites do not stop partying until everyone is dead. M.O.D.O.K begins to blast the Seagramites, but it doesn't work. He remembers Melissa's tactics, uses it, and successfully eliminates the Seagramites. He apologizes to Melissa later on and leans that she only wants his attention as a father. Austin gives his equipment to Hexus, the executive board that want M.O.D.O.K irrelevant. It's another weekend in M.O.D.O.K's apartment. It's not his day with the kids, and he misses his wife. He feels bored and ignores his robot, who yearns to have fun with him. He decides to go to the Solite Bar, a popular bar for evil villains, but is kicked out on entrance because he is no longer considered as top tier. The leader, however, tells him that for him to earn his place, he has to steal Captain America's shield. Disappointed, he walks out of the bar into another frequented by failed and rejected villains like himself. A fight ensues in the bar, and the troublemaker is taken out by the villains. M.O.D.O.K sees this and hatches a plan to use the abilities of these failed villains to steal the shield. At AIM, Jodie sneaks into M.O.D.O.K's old company with her son Lou. She seeks M.O.D.O.K's help in taking down a YT video that Lo-Yu made that would destroy her brand. She is met by the new staff, who is not pleased to see Lo-Yu because of his notoriety. The staff tells Lo-Yu to go to his section, the teenage section. There he sees a teenage girl and is immediately attracted to her. Back at the bar, M.O.D.O.K secretly plans how to steal the shield without telling the villains that they are working for him. He is met by different distractions, from getting back the rolling pins of one of the villains from a shop owned by a creepy guy who uses M.O.D.O.K's blade to dismember himself, to getting to Amigello's house, another villain, dealing with failed marriage, begging his wife to take him back. His wife's new husband attacks him, but with M.O.D.O.K, they give a counterattack using tissue papers. Back at AIM, Monica walks in on Jodie, and they surprisingly have a good time talking about M.O.D.O.K over a glass of wine. The new team gets into a race fight with two rude teenagers who insult one of the villains. M.O.D.O.K speaks to the villain and increases his esteem. He attacks them, and they drive into a high school. Another of the villains says it's her school, and they all get out of the car and converge at the metal show board of the school. She reminisces about her time in school and how she now feels like a failure. M.O.D.O.K understands that the esteem of this new mates is bruised. He gives them a pep talk to elevate their spirits, but accidentally spills that he was only using them to get Captain America's shield. They discover how selfish he is and walk out on him. At AIM, Monica helps Jodie to inject Lou, making him allergic to peanuts. Lou is, however, having a good time with his new friend, Monica's daughter. M.O.D.O.K is repentant and lonely. He finds his new friends in a bar and buys them some food. He apologizes to them, encourages them, and they forgive him. They decide to go steal the shield but fall asleep on transit. They later end up in a beach where they have a good time bonding together. One of them dies, however, at the beach, with M.O.D.O.K being his last companion. Time-traveling M.O.D.O.K is still trailing M.O.D.O.K. He steals M.O.D.O.K robot. It's Melter's funeral service. M.O.D.O.K rudely walks into the church with his kids, disrupting his wife's speech. Her speech reminds M.O.D.O.K of his mortality, and he feels a yearning to achieve something to sustain his legacy. He decides that he is going to eliminate Iron Man. Back at his lab, he tells Monica of his plans to eliminate Iron Man using a destructive gun. Monica is uninterested because she has a project she is working on. M.O.D.O.K tells Austin that he would want his gun, but Austin tells him that he'll have to go through different administrative heads, pitch his idea, and gets approval before he can access his weapon. This process can take as long as 3 months. Monica, on her part, is having a hard time with working because Austin's new policies are reducing our productivity. He also tells her that she is due for her vacation, which would last for 3 months. She is not pleased with this information and teams up with M.O.D.O.K to hack into Doris's, the administrative head system, grant M.O.D.O.K access to his weapon, and erase all details of her vacation. They decide to use jelly humanoids that looks like them to confuse the other members of the company, and they intercept the board's call. They successfully gain access to the computer just before Doris gets to get office, and as M.O.D.O.K thanks Monica for her help, he discovers that she betrayed him. He questions her about her betrayal, and she has a flashback of how he took all her credits in the defeat of a villain. This betrayal leads to an ugly fight between them, with Monica defeating M.O.D.O.K. Monica is promoted. It's all she has ever wanted. But this promotion, this part of Austin's plans to completely take over AIM and hand over the company to Hexus, the living corporation. In another city, a portal has been created in the sky. The army in this city aim to find the source of the opening. The source they think is a sorcerer and kill the sorcerer. The portal leads to AIM. M.O.D.O.K opened the portal when he gloats over his defeat by Monica. M.O.D.O.K drops in different items which pollutes this city. Austin tells him to do his job and stop gloating, or else he'll be demoted. M.O.D.O.K gets a call from Jodie. He tells her of his undying love for her and his wish to have sex with her. She's not interested, but calls to tell him of Lou's new love for magic. She tells him to speak to him and his teacher so they can help Lou. M.O.D.O.K takes Lou to his office and he accidentally falls into the portal. M.O.D.O.K follows him in immediately to save his son. They get separated in this city, with M.O.D.O.K meeting up with the army of the city, who tell him that they want to kill the boss of AIM for opening the portal and killing their general. M.O.D.O.K finds his son Lo-Yu. Lo-Yu is acting as a magician to the amazement of the creatures in this city. His father is against this and ashamed of him. He throws his father out, and his father vows to get him back. His father tells the army that Lou is the man they seek and they go to attack him. They, however, suffer a great loss because Lou's army is stronger. At last, Lou approaches the tent for a peace talk and father and son reconcile and bond together. They find a way to escape from the city, and we find M.O.D.O.K in the office of Lou's rabbi. The rabbi tells M.O.D.O.K that Lou is only using the magic to escape reality and push away people. He urges him to talk to him because the divorce seems to be affecting him. We also see M.O.D.O.K robot tortured by M.O.D.O.K younger self. M.O.D.O.K wakes up in his room hungry. He calls to his robot for a meal but doesn't get a reply. He still hasn't noticed that his robot has been captured. He heads to a restaurant to order a large lasagna and sees Jodie, his ex. He discovers that she's now in a relationship with a superhero and an actor, Wonder Man. He is saddened by the discovery. Jodie's new relationship is, however, all over the place, as her new relationship is now tagged the celebrity relationship. They invite M.O.D.O.K to Jodie's book opening, and he contacts his daughter for a makeover because he wants to show up looking handsome. Melissa agrees to help her father, and she takes him to a mall where he gets a new look. Melissa, however, tells him that his rebranding should also be internal and not just external, but he does listen. At the party, M.O.D.O.K shows up looking all glam and beckons to be the center of attention. We see that this is all of Jodie's plan to promote her book. Her manager, Brandy, tells her to start up a topic to stay trending, and she unintentionally starts up a relationship with Wonder Man after she bumped into him in a bookstore. They continue to date and become the center of attraction, but Jodie's stats starts to drop, and she needs a scandal to stay afloat. She plans to use M.O.D.O.K to create this scandal with her new man, and it works. Melissa and Lou are, however, not pleased with the newest development. They see how the divorce has torn their parents, and they shoot themselves drunk to forget the sorrows. M.O.D.O.K goes home feeling dejected after the day's happenings, but we also see that Brandy is M.O.D.O.K's robot, who is now working for young M.O.D.O.K from the time travel. And that was how the episode ended. Thank you for watching, guys. If you love animation movies, please subscribe to this channel and keep watching. Bye.